Right, okay. Right, okay. Right, okay. Okay, let's begin, I suppose. Okay, right. Let's see. Okay. So that's set up. I am prepared. And I am going to test out a new interface. Just to test out what it's like. Let's grab a random game. Okay, so if there's anybody in the stream, welcome. Okay, so if there's anybody... Okay, so I've got a new interface which I'm going to be testing out. And let's see how it goes. I mean, it's work in progress, I suppose. If the stream quality is poor, of course let me know, because I have no idea how it is going to be. Let's load up our game. Alright, okay. Just want to quickly see what we've got. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's pretty awesome. Okay, that's really, really weird. The settings are not correct here. Remember this being a lot higher. Right, gonna have to test this out with this, and we'll see how that goes. Right, let's begin. And we've got ourselves a best of 5. So our controls are going to be Control Shift 5 for best of 5, which is not working apparently. Oh, here we go. Okay, that's interesting that this doesn't work here. Hello, welcome. Just doing a quick test to see how this one looks out. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Gonna be casting now, so I won't be actually talking during it, as you know. So let's go. Let's see how this one pans out. Just 1 second now. So we've got FireCake. Okay, welcome everyone, whoever's in here. I am going to be casting game number 1 between FireCake and Serral. It's the first one, it's a Zerg versus Zerg. Testing out this new interface, and I honestly don't know how it's going to be, so if it's going to be terrible, I might switch back. If not, then, well, we'll go from there. Okay. Hello YouTube, welcome back to another game of Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. This is going to be a best of 5 series, a new one. Oh, it's a little bit too fast. And our players here are going to be... it's just so strange actually, I'm going to have to restart that. Also the sound is way too loud. Right, hold on. That was a disaster. Right, okay, let's begin. About time. Hello YouTube, welcome back to another game of Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. This is going to be a brand new best of 5 series. It's still going to be from the Dreamhack 2016, which just concluded off at the end of January, but I am trying a new replay interface. As you can see, we do have the panel here, which means we can also see what exactly our units stats are, which is pretty cool. And the only thing is, of course, the panel here is gone, but instead our details are up here, and of course we've got the income showing all the time. We've got the army supply and all that as well, so pretty cool to still have that. Very, very important, as you all know. And let's see what our players are doing. So on the bottom left hand side here, we have got Serral spawning as the Red Zerg. Now just a bit of details, Serral is on Team Mind Sanity and he is hailing from Finland. His opponent is going to be FireCake. FireCake is actually quite a popular player in the last, I suppose, few weeks. He's been doing pretty well. He's been quite popular, and I suppose he's been just somebody that's definitely been on the radar just a little bit. So FireCake is from Team Uranix Gaming, which seems to be like a pretty quickly growing team. They have recruited a few people over the last few days, which I saw, and just as well, he is from France. So it looks like we had a spawning pool first from FireCake here, so obviously he is possibly going to go for a bit of aggression here. Now, I believe he didn't scout out his opponent just yet. He's going to be bringing his Overlord down here, which means he will scout him out in just a few moments. And his opponent, Serral, actually opting to not go anywhere with the second Overlord, so he's just sitting here waiting. He's probably going to see this Overlord in just a few moments once they cross paths, and of course at that point they will see each other and know where both players are. So let's see how this game progresses. I've done a bit of research in a stream that I done a few days ago, which I really want to share with you guys in this one, but I'm not going to do it. I will wait until one game where I'm a little bit more confident in my casting skills, because as you know, this is a new interface, so I'm just a little bit lost, and of course I want to catch up on that stuff. So let's see what we've got here. Now just looking at the supply count right now, it does appear that there is a bit of a discrepancy in income to what I've been doing research on, which is pretty funny, to be honest. I was basically doing research on how having more than 16 workers affects your mineral line. Because believe it or not, I mean, you do have these 2 mineral lines, or in some bases it's 3, which are actually a bit closer to your base, but then on the other hand, the other ones are a little bit further, and you can actually put 3 workers on them. The third worker doesn't get full access to the mineral line every time it wants to, but it does have to wait like a quarter of a second or so before it can gain access, which I suppose it's like a diminishing returns effect, so you don't get the full benefit of having too many. But from my research, I found that it is actually worth to have up to about 20 workers on your mineral line, particularly if you're being denied an expansion and you need some fast economy. Or for example, if your base is getting shut down here, it makes little sense to just keep your workers safe here, where you could just pop an extra 4 or 5 onto the mineral line and of course make use of it. So let's see what we've got here. Looks like a Zergling and Baneling aggression. There's queens in the way. There's actually 3 queens and a bunch and 2 Banelings as well in position to defend against this. And oh my god, this could be very, very bad right now for FireCake, getting his queen surrounded here. And this is absolutely a crucial move here from Serral. Every time you can pick off a queen, it gives you a huge amount of advantage, just simply because you really heavily cripple your opponent's productivity. And honestly, if I had to put a number on it, I would probably say that this is probably over, simply because we've got 20 supply of army for Serral and only 5 remaining for FireCake at this point. So honestly, as I said, I think this is over, but of course could potentially pull something off here. There is 4 Banelings, so if he manages to pull off some really, really good Baneling hits here, it could turn the other way. But then again, no, at this point, looking at supply count, 12 to 22 workers, despite the fact that you know, our opponent doesn't have as many workers as FireCake started off with. That was pretty much that. So there we go, game number 1 is complete. FireCake GG's out, which means Serral has taken the game. There was just too much economic damage done in that, and Honestly, casting with this interface is so confusing. I'll try to do it for this series. If it doesn't work out at all, if I don't like it, then I will simply just leave it and go back to the WCS one, because that is of course my trusted favorite one, which I really like. Okay, no, I'm gonna redo that game because that was absolutely terrible. I do not like this interface. It has its advantages, but not quite enough to make me use it, to be honest. So let's go back to the WCS one and cast our 3 games. Best of 5. Right, let's begin. This one's going to be slightly different. Just going to go off the top of my head. Hello YouTube, welcome back to another game of Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. This is going to be another best of 5 series for you guys. Going to be between FireCake and Serral, so it's a Zerg versus Zerg in this one. Now, let's quickly introduce our players. On the bottom left hand side here we've got Serral spawning as the Red Zerg, and he's from Team My Insanity and hailing from Finland. Now his opponent is going to be FireCake, who is on Team Euronics Gaming, and he is from France. So a Zerg versus Zerg is what we've got. It's Central Protocol, and it's a map where rushing your opponent is quite common, despite the fact that it's actually a 4-player map. It's a bit of a strange one really if you ask me, but definitely something to know. So similar build so far. Looks like we've got a spawning pool first for FireCake. Ooh, interestingly enough, Serral actually going for the hatchery first. Now that spawning pool definitely was not a rush timing. I believe it was a 16 or 17 spawning pool. Probably a 17 even if I had to go back and quickly check. So that means that he is going for that base pretty much straight afterwards. He does have the economy for it. Not going to have any huge amount of Zerglings coming out at the beginning. Spawning pool has been started for Serral, which is perfect. Now, by the way, I'm going to introduce a question of the series, just a very basic one, not even StarCraft related. What time zone are you in? I am currently in a GMT +0, which is, I believe, EST +6 or 5. Basically, I'm in Europe, at the very left-hand side in Ireland. So leave your comments in the comment section below. And just going to be interesting to see where exactly some of my viewers are from. I know I do have a few Canadian viewers, which is pretty damn awesome. Having some people from the other side of the world watching my videos is probably the coolest feeling ever. So yeah. So let's see what we've got here. Looks like the timings are strangely, but I suppose that does mean that his hatchery is just so much more later because of that. So the weird thing right now, I mean, he's gone for the spawning pool first. Is despite the fact that he's gone for a spawning pool first, he didn't actually go for any Zerglings. He's just continuing to drone on. Now, if you plan on doing this, it probably makes very little sense to actually build up a spawning pool before even without even making units. So if you make it before your hatchery, then at that point you're kind of sacrificing a lot of economy at the very beginning. Now, I honestly don't know why there's no music. There definitely should be. But basically what you're doing is you're sacrificing your early economy in favor of getting a few attacking units. But since he's not even doing that, he's essentially... Some people just tend to play like that. And I think, to be honest, it was probably a mistake on his side. Maybe he didn't mean it that time. Which, as I said, it's a little bit of a waste. But hey... those kind of mistakes, he probably just had it just in case there is going to be some sort of 12 pool or something like that, so that basically he can build a few Zerglings in defense if there is red Zerglings coming towards his base. So as you can see here, outside his base, he's got an army which is 10 supply the size of his own, so he's actually in quite a poor position right now. There is Banelings in position here. Oh, managing to snipe off 3 of Serral's Banelings here, so quite nice here for FireCake. But oh my god, his queens getting surrounded absolutely at the very beginning, losing 3 queens so early in the game. Even the 4th one going down here is going to be absolutely crucial for Serral here. His production capability is going to be absolutely hindered and smashed in terms of larva production. So it looks like we've got a lot of Banelings being morphed in, but they are getting attacked as well, so definitely going to be interesting to note that that is no longer the case. Honestly, 2 to 24, I think at this point there's probably no no coming back from this point. So as you can see, there's a Roach one coming down, but Roaches unfortunately is not what he needs right now. He needs Zerglings and Banelings just to defend off against this. And at this point, 22 to 2, and there we go, GG has been called, and that is pretty much that. I think the biggest hindering factor there was actually the fact that FireCake built a spawning pool first instead of a hatchery, but then proceeded to not get any attacking units. At that point, he just had nothing to defend with, and pretty much all of his queens just got murdered. Right, game number 1 is complete. Let's see game number 2. Load that stuff up. By the way, whoever's in the stream, do you mind telling me, is the game sound too quiet or is it fine? Just so I know that whether I need to bump it up. So it's Serral versus FireCake. ZVZ, game 1. Okay, let's jump straight into the second game. It's best of 5, and our score is not being revealed just yet because this, of course, is getting uploaded to YouTube, and that means that I need to hide the score for just a few minutes. Okay, right, let's begin. Hello YouTube, welcome back to another game of Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. This is going to be the second game between our 2 Zerg players here, Serral and FireCake. This is from the Dreamhack 2016 Leipzig tournament, which was held at the end of January. It just very recently completed, as you can imagine, and that is pretty much that about this. So as I said, this is the second game, so if you have missed the first one, I really recommend watching that. On the basically in the description there will be links to that. If you haven't actually seen it, or if you have seen it, then that's perfect, and please don't spoil anything at the bottom. Now scores are common as well, so obviously at this point, you know, you are about to be spoiled what the first game resulted in, so yeah, just saying. So our players here, Serral, who is on Team My Insanity and also from Finland. His opponent is FireCake, who is from Team Euronics Gaming and is from France. Now our question of the series here is going to be, what time zone are you from? I'm currently in Ireland, so that means I'm from GMT +0, or that is also known as, I believe, EST +5 or 6. So yeah, what time are you from? And just so kind of, I'm trying to paint a picture of where exactly my viewers are from. So would be pretty cool if anybody could answer that. So let's look at the timings here. It looks like FireCake has opted to go for a double expansion versus Zerg. This is actually so risky, particularly with the fact that we've got a spawning pool coming out here after the first base for Serral. Now, in the previous game, if you remember, Serral did a really heavy timing push, and actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put up the score at this point. In the previous game, Serral did a very good Zerg timing rush, and essentially just absolutely overran FireCake, and FireCake built up a spawning pool first, but that actually ended up resulting in him not having any units because he just decided to not build any. So it was a bit unfortunate. I mean, he had the right order to defend off against it, but he just did not make units, and that cost him the game. So let's see what Serral is doing. It looks like he is continuing gas mining despite the fact that he's already gotten himself the metabolic boost upgrade. This hatchery is now complete, and he is just pumping out a few zerglings. He's also making drones as well, so he's not going completely balls in right now. Definitely focusing on that economy just a tad bit. Looks like Baling Nest on the way as well. Now this is pretty standard of Zerg versus Zerg play. Just build out a bunch of Zerglings and support them with Balings. So let's see what we've got here. A Spine Crawler being put down inside the third base rather here for FireCake. So he's obviously a little bit worried about what happened last game. He's hoping it won't happen again. But he does see that there's a few Zerglings inside his base already. Now this doesn't really mean that that there's going to be a bunch of Zerglings and Balings on the way. It very likely could be. I mean, it's always safe to assume that that will happen, but it doesn't obviously mean exactly that this is going to be it. So let's see what it does here. It's just running around with him really. Not doing anything major. And managed to snipe off. Ooh! Did he actually snipe one? Or yeah, he just killed one. So nothing major right now. And let's see, so third base is also up for Serral now. I did spot this with FireCake earlier. He did spot this. So he's definitely aware of this happening. This means that his economy is going to be slightly higher, simply because he is, of course, with that... by his, I mean FireCake's economy is going to be a little bit higher because he did actually spot that first, or build his expansion first. So let's see, Evolution Chamber on the way for both of our players. Serral's one is just a little bit first, but there is a Roachborn on the way for FireCake. So building that right next to the Evolution Chamber. So thinking of upgrading already. Now, funny enough, Serral has already started his level 1 ranged attack for roaches. So he's obviously thinking of getting himself that extra bit of economy boost at the very beginning. And just to note, we've got 1 gas coming down here, and we've got 3 gases for Serral. Now, 3 gases generally means Roach Ravager play, but that is very easy to convert to about, you know, 4 to 6 gases as well. What have we got here? That's a Roachborn. Let's see, Zerglings are in position. Banelings, oh, letting 1 Zergling in, just going to do a bit of scouting with that. Getting straight into that mineral line, seeing that there's no Spire coming down. Spotting the Spire before it actually completes is probably one of the most crucial things that a player can do. Now this Zergling saw that there's a lair on the way. Now it's not really specifically going to tell him that there's a Spire on the way. It very well likely could mean that, but chances are that he's not going to go for it just yet. Although, okay, I take that back. He's got 6 gases on the way, which means that he could very well support Mutalisks right now. And Serral is aware of this. As you can see here, Serral seeing that 6 gases, or at least he did see those 2. Let me just select one of his. You know what? Let's just do it this way. So he's aware of this gas. He's not aware of the 6th one here, but I'm pretty sure he's going to take a guess and say, okay, he's probably going for something a little bit heavier on tech. And this is going to be interesting how this one plays out, because we've got roaches being pumped out like crazy for Serral. And for FireCake, he's kind of been a little bit more conservative with them. But he does have 6 gases, which of course, you don't need 6 gases for supporting roaches. It is simply too much. All you really need is probably about, I think it's 2 to 3. 2 for roaches and 3 for if you're putting the Ravagers in there as well. Because as you know, Ravagers are quite expensive. They're 75 gas and I believe 50 or 25 minnows. I can't quite remember exactly. Expansion coming out for Serral, so that's the 4th base on the way. And actually, funny enough, FireCake going for his own one as well. Hydra's Den on the way for Serral as well, so he's kind of thinking that this could very well be a Spire. So as I said, he spotted that there was 2 more gases gone down in the 3rd base, so he's probably like, okay, is there going to be an actual, you know, a Mutalisk rush here? Because if that's the case, I certainly need to be able to defend against that. Doesn't seem like he was too interested in getting his own Mutalisks, despite the fact that he's got 6 gases, but 6 gases could also be used for Hydralisks since they cost so much gas. Now this is actually quite crucial. He's managing to surround a few of the roaches here, so if he picks those off for free, that will be quite nice for him. Now the engagement going down here, there is Ravagers in the fray here as well, throwing down a few corrosive piles, missing with every one of them unfortunately, and having to back off. There's so many units on the field right now. Roaches moving into this expansion and probably not using the best that he could possibly use them for, but is managing to snipe out a few units. Is he going to get the queen here? Yes, he is. And now going to be cleaning this up. Now, was that worth it to get a queen for that? Probably is, simply because he is denying, of course, the ability to create more units. Engagement here, I think, is favoring Serral. He is going to have his level 2 weapons as well first, so that's definitely something very, very important. And there's a nice split of units here for FireCake. He's pretty much everywhere on the map at this point. And let's see, this was actually just a drop with roaches. I don't think it's going to do a whole lot. Let's have a quick look at units lost. Looks like just 1 drone has been lost for FireCake, and Serral has just now killed his first drone. These roaches are absolutely toast at this point. Looks like we've got a lurker down on the way as well. And interestingly enough, let's see what these units are going to do. There's a lot of Ravagers on both sides. Corrosive Biles are being thrown down, and oh, nice Corrosive Bile hits there. That probably took out about 2 or 3 units and also damaged a few more. Now, still favoring Serral in this engagement. Oh, and these Corrosive Biles, very, very nice hits there. Now, if he gets any sort of reinforcements onto this army, he will be able to counterattack onto this, but he is very, very heavily being out-armied right now. Now, there is a bit of a counter here. As you can see, he is taking out probes, or drones, and he's actually killing off quite a few of them. So, as you can see here, more Corrosive Biles going down. And trying to get a bit of a concave here. He's actually doing just that, which of course is exactly what he wants to do. And this is just continuing on here. He's killed off so many workers at this point. Let's have a quick look at that. 9 drones have been killed off in Serral's base. Looks like we do have a burrow being researched, and there's no tunneling claws just yet, but I would expect a tunneling claws will be made very shortly also. It looks like at this point the actual engagement is favoring FireCake. He's getting reinforcements the whole time, so probably going to start beating back this force very, very shortly. And at this point there's no Ravagers remaining and just a few roaches being chased down. Now looking at upgrades again, just want to bring that up. Doesn't look like there's any Carapace upgrade ready for FireCake, but Serral is already going for his. Has Hydras and more roaches on the way, whereas FireCake decided to go for just roaches. He's got 17 on the way right now. That's a huge amount of roaches to make at once. I do apologize for the knocking, by the way. That is my fiance. She's building some thing that she bought for herself from IKEA. So I'm recording and she's building IKEA stuff. I am an absolute gentleman, I know, but that was the agreement. I drive an extra hour after work, bring that stuff to her, and she's gonna build it. Her mother's also over here, so yeah. So let's see, 112 to 94 is the supply. A little bit in favor of FireCake, so this could very well be evened out here if he continues on like this. A bunch of roaches being thrown down for both players. It's all really going to be about control, and oh my god, lurkers are also in the back here. There is 4 lurkers in position. Now 4 lurkers could turn the tide of the battle pretty quickly, simply because they do have area damage, which means that they're able to essentially just engage or attack from very, very far and do a huge amount of damage. Let's see, Hydra's Den of his own is on the way. Tunneling claws for Serral are on the way also. And let's see, this queen is ripe for the picking right now. Doesn't look like he's interested in it though. Army supply has very evenly spread, or evened out right now. Looks like there is a drop here. Oh my god, there's Overlord. Drop those. Drop them. No. Is he going to survive? He's so close. He is going to manage to take those down now. What he's going to be able to do with that, I don't know. Does look like we've got a spore crawler here, basically defending off against this, or spotting these units. It looks like Overseer is being made here as well. So obviously Serral doesn't want to get caught out by any sneaky roaches like this. That would be quite disastrous. Let's see what he's going to do here. Two armies converging. Serral's army here, I do believe, will probably... It really depends. If the lurkers manage to bury down and start doing damage, he will very, very quickly come ahead in the actual engagement. But if he manages to catch out a few of those and snipe them out, definitely going to start favoring him very, very quickly. Throwing down one corrosive pile, didn't actually quite hit it. Let's see, looks like we have a Spire on the way for Serral. An engagement going down here as well. I think it's probably going to start favoring Serral very, very quickly because of those lurkers. Of course, that can change with the Ravagers in the back. If he gets some good corrosive piles in this engagement, that could of course go the other way. So let's see what he's doing. Ooh, very nice here. Just using his Ravagers to just get in a little bit closer and start attacking. More Ravagers being made as well. Corrosive piles being thrown down is hitting a few of those red units. So that's quite good for him, making the best of the abilities of these units that he's got on the battlefield. Army supply are just neck and neck right now. Looks like we do have a Mutalisk Spire about to complete here as well. He's stacking quite a lot of minerals, so that could be the crucial deciding factor right now. If he manages to get a bunch of Mutalisks and gets them into FireCake's base, that'll be quite disastrous for him. Now looking at the army supply here, I do think that FireCake is actually in quite okay position if he was to return with his units and continuously attack onto that. I mean, yeah, okay, so coming onto the background now, where are those units gone? This could have been the deciding factor. Unfortunately for him, he's actually decided to bring them away, which means that they're not able to reinforce the army here. Starting to do a bit of damage onto these lurkers in the back, not quite reaching anything, but at this point all of this army has been cleaned up. 127 to 60. I think at this point Serral has gotten himself game number 2 in the bag right now. And let's see, ooh, funny enough, he's actually gone for a Greater Spire. So possibly going to go for Broodlords. That's definitely a very weird one, to just run straight for Broodlords. Okay, that's interesting. He's actually gone for Vipers. He's gotten himself 5 Vipers on the way. FireCake getting a few of his own as well. Doing as much economic damage as possible, of course. Very, very important to try to set your opponent back. 22 to 3 workers lost so far is our score. So let's see, we've got 5 base Zergs, both of them on 5 base, which means their production capability is through the roof. Level 3 weapons are coming for Serral as well. Now both players have got 2-2 with both weapons and carapace already completed. So this is going to put him just a little bit ahead, unless of course FireCake decides to go for his own upgrade. And here we go, we do have the Yoinks on the field, also known as the Vipers. They do have energy, and it does look like he might actually go for those Yoinks, and I think that's probably to grab yourself a few lurkers. Is he going to grab them? Yes, he is indeed. Getting those murdered absolutely pretty much instantly, and that is exactly what he needs to do right now. Just bring those lurkers to himself, prevent him from doing a huge amount of damage to his armies. And oh, here we go, parasitic bombs have gone down. Now just a note, oh, here we go, game number 2 going in favor of Serral. Very well played here, and I think that the fact that he's had such an outstanding army lead is pretty much what won him the game here. Right, I need to quickly test something. And that involves muting my game. So our players here, Serral, who is on team My Insanity and Alt Bailings. No, game sound is fine actually. By his, I mean FireCake's economy is going to be a little bit higher, and for all you really need minnows, I can't quite remember exactly. Expansion coming out for Serral, so that's the 4th base on the way, and actually funny enough, FireCake as well. I do need to do a quick test with something, so if you just bear with me a second, I will be back very, very shortly. Okay, let us continue. Let's see what we've got. Okay, alright, so we've got ourselves a best of 5. Best of 5, as I was saying. Serral versus FireCake. Let's begin. Pop. Okay, hello YouTube, welcome back to another game of Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. This is going to be a third game from this best of 5. It is currently FireCake versus Serral. This is still from the Dreamhack 2016 Leipzig tournament, which was held at the very end of January. And let's see how this game plays out. Now, quick introduction to our players. On the bottom side here, we've got Serral, who is representing My Insanity and Finland. His opponent is going to be FireCake as the Blue Zerg, and he is supporting, he is playing for Team Euronics Gaming and France. Now, these scores are about to be put on the screen, so if you haven't seen the previous games, I really do recommend watching the previous games, just in case you are about to be spoiled. Now, a question of the series is going to be a very simple one. It is, what time zone are you in? So, are you from the EST Canadian time, or are you from some other time? Let me know in the comment section below. I really am interested to see where my viewers are from, particularly the people that comment. They to me are the most important, because they are the ones that are engaging with me, and I love to hear your comments. I love to hear your feedback. If you have anything to say about my channel, it is pretty damn important to me. So of course, say it below, and I really would appreciate that. Not to say that normal viewers are not important. Obviously they are, but I really do appreciate a bit extra every time somebody leaves a comment behind. So builds so far for both of our players are very identical. I'm going to bring up the score right now. 2-0 in favor of Serral. Builds are absolutely identical. As you can see, pretty much almost second for second. Looks like FireCake's drone is just a tad bit earlier, and that is probably because Serral is thinking of an expansion maybe. He's got 400 gas, otherwise he could be just building a queen and a bunch of zerglings. That would also make sense, but then again, does he need that many minerals? Yes, he does, because he's about to build a second queen out of this. There we go. So metabolic boost also on the way. He spent pretty much all of those minerals, saving them up right up until the pool pops, and at that point he has quite a high mineral expenditure. Now FireCake looks like he might be going for a third base here. Yes, he is indeed. And this is quite risky right now. He does have a few zerglings on the way, so he will be able to defend off against these initial zerglings. And it doesn't look like Serral has actually opted to go for any sort of follow-on aggression. He does have a Bailey Nest, but he doesn't have a huge amount of units on the field, so not really going to be able to do a whole lot with these. And let's see, he sees that there's a hatchery here. And at this point, this is going to be fully warded off. I mean, 4 Zerglings versus 4 Zerglings with a queen. Not going to end well at all for Serral if he continues on with that. Third base is now on the way for Serral as well, so it is a bit behind, but based on the timings, it's not a huge amount, it's just a little bit. Let's see, metabolic boost about to complete here. Now Serral's one is already complete, just to note. But at this point, FireCake does have a few extra Zerglings, so he will be able to defend against this quite easy. And this Zergling is just essentially there to scout out. He is going to get probably taken out inside this mineral line, and Queen is going to be picking that off. And a counterattack going down. Now, let's have a quick look at what Serral has in store for us. Doesn't look like he's got anything, but he does have 12 Zerglings on the way, so I'm gonna potentially snipe off a few units here. Ooh, that was actually quite a nice bailing. Managing to sneak off 3 Zerglings with that. Definitely a worthy expense. And just Zerglings so far, nothing else. We do have roaches on the way for FireCake, but that is pretty much it. Looks like a lair is the choice of tech for Serral, so going for quite an early lair. Just 4 minutes in. He's got himself 3 gases, so could potentially see Hydras again. And with Hydras, we could potentially see Lurkers as well. And there we go. FireCake managed to hold us off quite handily. Does have a superior army lead as well. And the question is going to be, how much is he going to be able to do with these Zerglings? I think that probably not very much. But of course, that is yet to be seen. There is one Baneling just being a little bit menacing, and it's like, okay, you're not coming up here. This one Baneling gonna get picked off. Oh, does he manage to kill it? It's very close here. And no, he doesn't appear to have killed a whole lot there. Zergling versus Zerglings is all we've got at the moment. And FireCake building a bunch of Ravagers, or sorry, Roaches. So gonna potentially see a timing attack here. I mean, Serral does not have a Roach Warren yet. So if FireCake moves out with a bunch of Roaches, he could very well catch him off guard here and bring the series up to 1 against 2. Let's see, there is an expansion here, but nope, not gonna get that up. Did manage to snipe it off. Now he knows that there's roaches here at this point. He has his roach warren almost complete himself, so this is pretty much the most crucial timing possible for our FireCake Zerg player. I was going to say Zerg player, but then I realized there's actually 2 of them here, so that wouldn't be very useful. Now 4th base is coming down here, and Serral has opted to go for the one that's a little bit right in the middle, which means it's not hidden, and it's also a little bit easier to get to because of course your opponent is right up in your face like that. Zerglings in position here. Let's see what he's going to do. Honestly, it's a little bit of a tricky situation. Both players have very similar army supplies. There's a bunch of Roaches, a few Ravagers also up for Serral. So the question is going to be, who's going to engage first and who is going to win it? Because of course that is the most important thing. Now I think in the next series is where I'm going to reveal my test results. So the ones that I did. And they're a bit strange, the results that I got, so maybe I might even retest them on the stream or something like that. Just to see what I get. The convergence of the blue army is inside the middle here. Gonna probably bring all of his roaches in with that, and it's just a roach army, which means he's gonna be a little bit vulnerable to corrosive biles. Does have Zerglings running in here, not gonna get a whole lot done, and funny enough, despite the fact that that's not actually a joke, Queen is managing to block these off, doing her duty, defending her brood. There we go, a bit of a small engagement here. That's not actually a huge lot, but these are of course, any units that you can pick off right now are quite crucial. And let's see, deciding to bring off, I think that's 4 roaches. Would be a little bit risky to split up his army right now. I mean, his army is not very big. I mean, it's close to maxing out, but not quite there. So he probably wants to keep them together as much as possible and then just engage as one huge army, potentially also do a big surround, but that is of course very difficult. There we go, the wall of units, so much damage going down right now. And just so much green, just a path of green right in the middle here. Oh, FireCake deciding that he has got the advantage, moving straight in there. I don't honestly know if he's got the advantage. I mean, army supply is very, very even right now. There is corrosive piles everywhere. But who is coming out ahead here? Honestly, I am feeling that like it's Serral. But it could be the other way around. Who knows? I mean, army supply is favoring Serral, but that doesn't mean that all of his armies right here. It could be that he's reinforcing a bit more than he's got in the line. So let's see. It's a bit of tense moment here, and looks like there is level 1 carapace completed for FireCake, so that's going to be a nice advantage to him. Serral is going for burrow as well. Although I don't know how much that's going to do for him. FireCake going for the level 2 carapace. Now the question is going to be, is that going to come out on time? Because right now Serral is looking in quite a prime position with a maxed out army. Is he going to want to push this on or not? Is he going to want to stay behind and just be passive? Honestly, I don't know. Let's have a look and find out together. Now very nice gross of piles going down on the back of that army. Very well played here for Serral. And the only thing he really needs to do is somehow come out on top in this engagement. If he manages to do that, that could very well spell GG in this one. 98 to 90 is the army supply. Worker supply is favouring Serral a little bit, which means that FireCake, despite the fact that he has a little bit less income, he actually has more potential to build a larger army. Queen getting taken out in this natural and borrowing his units down just so they can heal up a little bit. Probably makes more sense to attack with the units that are not low health and borrow the other ones. Now this is quite nice. He's actually contaminated the hatchery. The only problem with contaminating the hatchery is it doesn't do that much. I mean, you can still mine out of it. I think that I suppose maybe it stops what is it called, larva production, which I suppose is okay. Level 2 carapace is about to complete for FireCake, so this will be quite a prime moment to move out and attack. What is he going to do? It looks like he's just being passive. He doesn't want to let Serral get himself some Ravagers and level 2 carapace. If he does that, at that point he could very well fall behind yet again. I mean, last time the Ravagers just did too much damage. There's too much unit variation for Serral, so FireCake could just basically not deal with it whatsoever. And there we go, just a few units being picked off here. Not a whole lot. Russell Pyle is just being traded here. I don't think that at this point, I don't think FireCake really wants to engage. I don't know if he realizes how much bigger Serral's army is. There's about a 20 army supply difference at this point. And there was quite good control here from FireCake, deciding to take out an overlord rather than attacking the enemy unit. So having just a bit of patience there, knowing that he does have the time to attack this. Corrosive Bile is missing the lurkers. And I think that Serral is just trading a little bit better now. He's getting all the hits, he's getting all the single kills, but FireCake is just consistently moving away whenever he's about to attack. There's actually quite a nice concave there for FireCake, so I think he would have been quite okay there. The only problem that he has right now is that there's lurkers on the field. Now he doesn't have his own lurkers. I mean, I believe he at this point probably has a lurker den. He does indeed have a lurker den. So he just doesn't have them created yet. He does have a few morphing in here. So are they going to be on time? They are about to pop right now. And there we go, one is popping down, burrowing it down pretty much straight away. It's starting to do a bit of damage. Let's see what he's going to do here. So there's just a little bit of time left here. It's 14 minutes into the game. It's quite late. At this point, I would really consider this the late game, despite the fact that none of our players actually have maxed out upgrades. I think at this point, definitely should have those. It is quite important to get your upgrades. I mean, once you come past about 10 units, upgrades at that point are crucial. It's better than making a single attacking unit, because that's roughly how much one of your units will cost. Well, I suppose for Zerg, it's going to be 2 units. So if you get yourself an upgrade when you've got 20 to 30 units, it's definitely worth the trade. I know both of our players just being a little bit scared to move forward. I mean, obviously whoever moves forward means that they don't have the support of their lurkers, which means that they're pretty, you know, susceptible to attack at that point. How many lurkers are in here in total? There's 6 on the FireCake side and just 3 on Serral side. So there we go. It does look like we have Vipers here as well. They're gonna potentially use their little yoink skill, pick off a few units, or just continue the way they are. Let's see. So 5 bases versus 5 bases. This base is about to be fully saturated. Let's have a quick look at income. Actually, we've got a bit of a lead for Serral. It's probably because he already has his 5th base operating, whereas FireCake is just about to start saturating it now. What are they going to do here? That is going to be the question. Looks like level 3 attacks coming out for Serral. Now let's have a quick look. Level 3 is not completed for FireCake, so that will be a bit of an advantage for him. Nidus Canal has been put down in this corner. Now, just to note, that is not really anywhere that's very far up front, but of course he would be able to deny the base here. And ooh, look at this, the second one coming down straight inside the base, so could potentially deny the base here, maybe even this one, and then just move straight into the base right after that. Now he will be able to snipe this off, but the question is going to be be able to save those roaches. Honestly, it's a little bit questionable. If he borrowed them and moved them down, he probably would. And there we go, the unit streaming in here. What kind of damage is he going to do? I think that he would probably be best sniping off the roach or warren or hydras then. That would probably be the most beneficial for him right now. Don't know why he's waiting though. He should definitely be using these units to snipe off something. It's very important he gets himself that kill. If he could kill this hive, actually, that would be absolutely crucial. That he didn't actually snipe off that spawning pool. That's definitely something interesting, but once the creep proceeds, it will die off by itself. And hive is about to get dropped here as well. Now, fun enough, that's actually also managed to supply block FireCake as well, so it's definitely a good position for Serral to be in. And oh my god, using another Nidus Worm to basically just escape the wrath of these units and bringing his units back here just to do a bit of aggression. It looks like lurkers are in position to defend. He is getting a bit of detection for them. And I think that he is quite struggling right now at this point. I mean, there's 5 bases fully working in operation for Serral. He's reinforcing his units, but his opponent is very, very quickly going to get mined out. The only saving grace, I suppose, is the fact that he has got 2,200 minerals and just under 3,000 gas. Now, level 3 Carapace is also on the way. It looks like he's getting tunneling claws as well. FireCake, that is. So let's see how this one is going to end. The big engagement we've all been waiting for could very well start in a few moments. The question is going to be who is going to attack first, because that of course is the most important thing. Let's see, Burrow's going down, getting a few puck shots off with the Ravagers. Oh, a nice yoink there, and starting to do a lot of damage with the Parasitic Bomb. Did drop a lot of those units quite low, and ooh, look at this. But the question is, whose Nidus Worm is that? It's actually FireCake's Nidus Worm. So popping that into Serral's base, he's going to pretty much rush all of his units back just to defend off against this. And the second one being put down right inside the main base also. The question is going to be, what is he going to do with this? I don't think it would make sense to get any units out of it. I think he needs to not waste resources and basically just fight him head on. Because if he can do it, he can do it. If he can't do it, then at that point, you know, you're just spending extra time holding back when you have no chance against your opponent. So FireCake being very passive. There's Nidus Swarm being put down pretty much everywhere right now, and I don't know, is that a really wise use of his minerals and gas? I mean, those things cost money. I believe it's 150, 150. It's definitely not a cheap unit to be thrown away all the time. See if we can actually see that anywhere here. Question is, where is that Nidus Canal? There it is. Getting destroyed, but doesn't actually show how much it costs, which is a bit unfortunate. So let's see. Army supply is actually favoring FireCake, so he's got about a, what's that, 15 army supply difference, which of course is, it's not a huge amount, but it's definitely significant to have. Now, interestingly enough, we've got, wait, hold on. We've got chitinous plating and we've got an Ultra's Cavern. Does that mean he's got two Ultra's Cavern? That's a bit of a mistake. So Serral in a bit of a panic here. Getting level 3 Carapace and also the chitinous plating. So he's definitely going to be able to get a few Ultras out once he clears up a bit of supply. He's currently actually fully maxed out, which means that of course he's not able to build anything else. So probably going to want to either sacrifice some drones or to sacrifice a few of his less valuable units. I think that the amount of Overseers he has is just a little bit overkill, so could probably swap a few of those. Engagement going down here. This base getting denied quite fast. I mean, it got spotted very quickly. It was a sneaky base, but as you can see, getting that taken out. That unit was so close. 6 health is all that's left, and oh, here we go again. We've got a Nidus Canal being put down at the back of FireCake's base. And what is he going to do with this? Let's have a look. I think it's really important to see who actually finishes off the other opponent's harassment or denies bases. If either player manages to deny the opponent's bases, at that point he's got this game in the bag. He can just basically continuously throw units at his opponent and his opponent will not be able to do anything about it. It's a nice little roach attack. Roach is just sneakily moving across. Sneaky spider. I love how they're visible over the air, over the ground though. It's a bit strange that burrowed units are not visible at all. I think that they should have like a small little indicator. Like a, you know the way you can see ghosts? They're visible but you can still see them. So I think that that's how it should be. Now Nidus Canal coming out at the back of this. There is bit of a cleanup going down, so this whole main base has been destroyed at this point. Natural has been destroyed, but he's got enough bases to pretty much reinforce all this. Oh my god, there's so nice spread here. He's got 2 bases that could be very easily shut down in a few moments. So let's see what he's going to do with those. Oh, he has on board these units, starting to take out a few workers, so he's probably just waited to see if there's going to be a few workers, and then at that point deny the bases. Let's see, the two armies are just so close to each other right now, so it's really going to be... Oh, parasitic bombs being thrown down. Let's see the damage. And no, not a whole lot. He does manage to clean that out. Managing to deny another base, so this is exactly what I was talking about. Serral is doing so good with denying bases. Let's have a quick look at how many mining bases we've got. We've got one here, which actually got shut down. There's no more workers there, and there's no workers there as well. There's 17 drones in total right now for FireCake. How many of those are mining? Not many. Now, by my calculations, one single drone is about 50, I believe it's 59 or 58 minerals per minute. So that means there's only 2 drones mining somewhere. And there we go, the Ultras in the front line as well, doing so much damage, being very, very tanky as well. Very difficult to get through Ultras when all you've got is light units. Now, Ravagers are not that bad against Ultras. They do have quite a lot of damage. And oh my god, Hive. This is going to be the second Hive that is getting sniped off here for FireCake. If this gets destroyed at that point, pretty much all of his tech has been denied twice. And let's see, another Nidus Swarm. This is probably the heaviest Nidus Swarm game I have seen ever. Even worse than the game where Blythe threw down about 12 or 13 Nidus Swarms. There have been so many of them at this point that I don't even dare try to count them. What is he going to do with this? Looks like getting it denied pretty much immediately. So nothing going to be done there. And at this point, FireCake, I honestly think that at this point he's kind of lost the game already. I mean, there's not a whole lot he can do. He doesn't have any economy. He's just got a little bit, which is from this base here. 13 drones is all he's got. Whereas his opponent, he's got so many bases. I mean, that's one base being produced. 1 active, 2 active, 3 active, 4 active, 5 active, 6, 7 active bases. Now, not all of them are mining, obviously, but he still has the production capability of that. And he is milking Ultras, so it looks like we've got a few parasitic bombs being thrown down. Now, it's just Overseers, so not a whole lot of a problem. The only thing is, of course, that Overseers, they spot the ground, or they stealthed burrowed units. So this does get denied. And there we go, GG has been called. Serral taking game number 3 of this best of 5 series, resulting in Serral moving on to the best round of 16, and I believe this means that FireCake gets knocked out. Alright. Hello, whoever's here, welcome. Looks like there's 4 people in the stream right now. Not a huge amount, but of course, if there's people here, still very awesome. Welcome to my stream. Say hello if you wish. I will say hello back. Just want to rename those replays very quick. Right, Dreamhack. This is the 8th series that I'm doing. Serral versus FireCake. ZVZ. Paste those videos in there and we are good to go. So that is pretty much that. If you just bear with me just a few moments, I'm gonna have a quick look to see if there's, or what my fiance is doing, just to see if I'm gonna be interrupted on the next cast. So of course I'll be back very, very shortly. Don't go anywhere. And you know what, I will leave the game screen on so you guys can choose which one. If there's going to be any requests on the chat, I will cast whichever one you want. So as you can see here, by date, the top ones here are the most recent ones. So FireCake versus Serral has already been done. So we've got from the top here to the bottom is in order of what has been played in real life. So choose whichever one you want. If there's any comments in the chat, I will go by that. So just one moment, be right back. Yes, why? Not too many anyways, I'm pretty tired, so I'm going to do it. Okay, welcome back. So what am I casting? Is there any requests? Because I'm about to start with Harstem versus Nice. If nobody requests anything, because that is the oldest one. So basically, it's the first one in the series that has that is on displayed on the screen right now. Okay. No requests means let's begin. So apparently this is Harstem. So let's load that up. Yes, yes. Let's just get his details down. And I also need to find out who exactly Nice is, because I am not familiar with the player. Oops, that's wrong. Paste. Throw that down. And just bear with me a second while I look up Nice, because I do not know this player. I've heard of him, but I've never recorded any of his details for my channel yet. Okay, so... Okay, that's interesting. So he's quite a new player. He's only started playing in 2015, which is definitely interesting. He's on Team Braveheart. So he's a Protoss player. P. Nice. And does he have a Twitter account? No, he does not. He is on Team Braveheart. And he is also from Taiwan, it seems. Okay, I am prepared. Let's begin with the game cast and see where we go from that. If there's anybody in the chat, you're very welcome to have a quick chat here. If you leave any messages, I will respond to them after the game cast. So let's okay, I am prepared. Let's begin with that. Now the fact that this is in the way is pretty annoying, so I will wait until that goes away and then I will restart the game. And there we go. Okay, and as usual, this is going to be a recording, so I am addressing YouTube by the way I would in a video. So let's see. Nice colors as well. Hello YouTube, welcome back to another game of Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. This is going to be a best of 5 series from our Dreamhack tournament, which has concluded just at the end of January. It's the Leipzig event, which is just one of the very early ones. So on the top right hand side here, we're going to have Harstem playing as Stasio, which I think that's how it's pronounced. It's probably not, but I'm just going to call him Harstem because I know that that's him. He's spawning as the purple Protoss, which is definitely a cool thing to see. Now, Harstem is on Team Invasion Esport, and he is from the Netherlands. His opponent, Nice, is going to be the blue Protoss, spawning on the bottom left-hand side here. And Nice is on Team Braveheart, and he is from Taiwan. It's actually a fairly new player, so I haven't seen a lot of him, which is definitely something to note. He's appears to be on the scene just from 2015, so I'm going to assume that that is probably towards the end of 2015, because there's very little information about him. So it looks like he's gone for an expansion before actually going for a gateway. But Harstem has actually gone quite the opposite way. Going for the gateway first and then the expansion. Now going for 2 for the gateway before the expansion sometimes means that he's going to be able to get double adepts out pretty early. But the question really is going to be, where is his economy going to be rolling towards? Now just 1 gas being put down for Harstem and 2 gases being put down for Nice. Now is this going to be spotted? Very, very shortly it is. Is he going to ward off that probe? Oh, okay, so this is actually... I would almost even let him out, because if he gives away the fact that he's got 2 refineries, then at that point he might give away the fact that he possibly could be going for early tech. Obviously, showing your opponent that you have early tech is not a good idea. Looks like we've got 2 gases also for Harstem, so this pylon being put down here is either going to be used for defenses or he's going to hide a Stargate behind it. Now these 2 gases have been spotted at this point. Let's see what we've got here. What is he going to be putting down? I don't think he's actually going to put any tech down until that probe is taken care of, because realistically you're going to pretty much screw yourself over if you do that. Now that block, just a note, is actually a full block. There's no way to get inside of that, or outside of that in this case. So looking at worker supply, looks like Nice does have the 4 extra workers, which means that he does have that extra bit of economy. Ooh, what is this? I believe this is going to be some sort of overcharge rush. Now, just to note, this is before the overcharge nerf, which means that this is still going to have the 25 energy overcharges. Now, honestly, the question is here, I don't know if it's worth putting down so many pylons here, and I don't know why these stalkers are just not destroying it. So there we go. He still has more overcharges available, so as you can see here, doing a nice bit of damage. I think he should just be focusing down the workers. That would definitely be a bit of an advantage to him. There we go, another overcharge going down. Oh, is he going to manage to snipe that off? Oh, he doesn't quite manage to snipe off. If he focused down the same units, he would have definitely been able. Now the question is really, are pylons that are overcharged, are they able to be controlled, or are they like a sentinel kind of thing that just attacks whatever the hell it wants? Because that is definitely an interesting one. Something I'm going to have to find out myself. I suppose in my next testing session, I am going to be starting to run testing sessions every now and then, just to basically test out mechanics, see what works, see what doesn't work, just to basically see what I can find. I did a bit of research about income, and I found some quite interesting results about the number of workers in a Nexus. So I did it with probes because I was more interested in what the Protoss was doing at the time, so definitely gonna have to try it with some other races as well, possibly. Now there was a Stargate put down here for an Oracle, but on the other side looks like we've got a Dark Shrine, and it's actually a proxy Dark Shrine. So he's getting himself Blink, and he's got a proxy Dark Shrine. So it's very difficult to actually spot something like this. I mean, it's so out of position that, you know, it's almost like an impossible proxy, simply because, or an impossible to find proxy, because there's no way that a probe is going to magically just path this way. And these buildings don't need to produce anything, they're just there to be tech. All the units that are being, well, the one unit that's being brought out of the Dark Shrine, it's actually a gateway unit. So just going to warp that into his opponent's base, and that is pretty much that. So 76 energy in this Oracle. Now I did a bit of research on the Oracle as well, and it does appear that if you kill 6 workers with your Oracle, you are on about even footing as basically what it costs you to produce the Oracle, the time lost mining, and as well, you know, basically the resource that it costs. So the Oracle costs 300 gas, 300 minerals, and based on my calculations, you can essentially mine about, if you have 3 drones on gas and 3 drones on minerals, you can mine that 300 in about roughly 2 minutes. So it's definitely important statistics to have. It is 6 to make it about even, but I would say that the fact that you still need to reproduce those workers afterwards, your own workers, I would say 7 puts you at a good standpoint. After 7, anything after that is a pretty good position for yourself. Ooh, that's quite a huge attempt there. If you manage to snipe off that pylon, that would be massive. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 production buildings absolutely taken out straight away. That could have been quite dangerous. Now, interestingly enough, a second void ray on the way as well. Is he going to make a third one here? Are we going to have Protoss air superiority? Because that will be awesome. Yes, he is indeed going for that. He's going to have 2 void rays and a third one as well. Robotic support bay is coming out for nice. So going to potentially see some disruptors very shortly. Now, I don't really know why he's bothering with this right now. All he's going to be attacking in the near future is actually air, so not a huge problem for him to have those rocks in the way. And somebody did obviously let me know why did players actually do that. Apparently, you misclick onto it and you start attacking it by accident every now and then. Let's see, so more void rays being made right now. Where are our void rays? 3 on the field, so that's a 4th void ray. Is he gonna make more? Yes, he is. Oh my god, this is so cool. He's actually making a bunch of void rays. This is absolutely awesome. Oh, interestingly enough, fleet beacon coming out as well. Now, this could be used for a number of purposes, obviously, not just for carriers. Oh my god, he's building a 3rd gateway. This is so cool. Oh my god, he's even getting weapons for air units. He's definitely going for it. Harstem going for the air superiority build. He does have a bigger army supply, and all he's got against him is stalkers right now. And on his army, he's got 4 void rays, immortals, and stalkers. This stalker engagement is absolutely screwed. There's nothing that he can do with that. In fact, I think that if he ran straight into his base right now, he would absolutely steamroll him. Looks like DT's being spawned in here again, just taking out a few probes with it, it seems. 14 lost for Harstem and 12 lost for Nice. Now, how many units has this killed at this point? 6. So this is the magic number. This means that the Oracle has already paid for itself. But, by the way, that 6 worker count doesn't really work if you were actually going for air superiority build. Because if you were, at that point, you can't really consider the 150 minerals and 150 gas that you spent on the Stargate as wasted resources. You can consider that as invested into the production tab or production capabilities, which is fine. Oh my god, I cannot believe this. There is actually carriers on the way. This has got to be the most exciting game that is possibly being made by me over probably the last few weeks, because there's carriers on the way. Oh my god, I haven't seen carriers probably since I would have to say maybe the 1st or 2nd week that I started casting, which is at this point about a month ago. So seeing carriers on a field is so damn awesome. He's going to be getting himself the increased interceptors amount, and also the sorry, not the increased interceptor amount, the speed for the interceptors, so they spawn faster. I believe it makes the first 4 leave the carrier faster. So a pro player, a pro game rather, and he's making 3 carriers at a time. That is something absolutely unheard of. Now, just a note in terms of upgrades, looks like level 1 air upgrades are now complete. And still 3 of those carriers. Is going to make more. Yes, he is. Oh my god, he's actually going for so many carriers. This is absolutely insane. I mean, look at this army. He's got so much ground-only units. Like all these zealots, absolutely useless. These immortals, yep, that's right, you guessed it, useless. These absolutely ridiculously expensive disruptors, yep, that's right, useless. The question is, did he see the carrier when he moved in with his stalkers here? Honestly, questionable, but I'll have a quick look. What has he seen inside the base? He's seen all the air units, so he's kind of aware of it, but the question is, why is he making immortals? At the very least, he should be making stalkers to counter off these units. But ideally, he probably wants to... Oh, here we go, he's gonna see them! And that is that he... Putting down... There we go, he does have High Templars on the way, so probably hoping to snipe off a few of these units with Psionic Storms. But honestly, I think... Is it too late at this point? Army supply is bigger for Nice, but if you consider it, let's have a quick look at the units tab. How many of Nice's units can actually fire at air? He's got 13 Stalkers and 2 Archons. Other than that, nothing else can fire at air. He does have the what are they called? By the way, there was a bit of engagement here. That did get destroyed. He does have the High Templars, which are kind of limited in their use. I mean, he can transform them into Archons, which appears to be what he's doing. But Psionic Storms against Protoss air units is not the greatest of things. And look at that. Oh my god, he's making four carriers at the same time. He's got level 2 upgrades as well. I think that he's basically doing the build, the whole, you know, maxed out army thing, and then just go straight in. Now, somebody did mention previously that this is very similar to a style of play that was back in Wings of Liberty and Heart of Swarm, but I don't mean in terms of the units, I mean in terms of the basically maxing out before you even move out of your base. Now, oh, wow. Okay, here we go, look at this. The Mothership Core is currently being transformed into a mothership. Now, I'm sure you don't need to be told what that means. Motherships are absolutely awesome. They stealth units around them. I don't know if they still have the Archon Toilet ability available. That is something that I think was either removed or nerfed. I can't quite remember. Level 3 weapons for ships are now on the way as well. This is going to be absolutely awesome. Now, he does have quite a number of Archons at this point, so the question is going to be whether it's going to be enough. And a lot of these disruptors taking a lot of damage actually, so he's destroying them quite quickly. And as you can see, these zealots are just absolutely useless. There's not a whole lot they can do. And how is this engagement going to go? There is disruptors here. Now he needs to basically destroy a few of these ground units, because the ground units are the only thing that he has the advantage in. There's a lot of lag here just simply because of how many units there are on the map. There's just so many interceptors. And 4 more carriers being produced as well. Oh my god. This is absolutely insane. He has even level 3 weapons about halfway complete at this point. And how many are right here right now? There is a total of 9 of them. Is that 9? No, it's actually 10. So 10 already here. 11th on the way, and 4 more being produced at the same time. Honestly, if Nice can hold this off, I will personally find whoever he is and I will donate my whole bank account to him right now, because this dude is absolutely toast. I mean, look at the speed at which they killed that Nexus. Absolutely instantly. Beautiful. And seeing this from a pro player is just something amazing, something you don't see every day, and something that definitely requires a bit of commendation. At this point, honestly, 133 supply. He did decide to go for the base instead, so there's a bunch of defenses here, which means that a lot of these units are going to get thinned out. Ooh, actually shutting them down before this. There we go, managing to snipe off one, and there is just so much damage going down here. Nexus taken out. There's 3 Nexuses remaining, and I believe just one of them is mining. Yeah, this one is not mining. This one is mining. But is that enough? That is the question. Does have his stalkers here. Manages to snipe off 2 carriers, which is actually quite nice. Not too bad. And all of these carriers, the air superiority game, I believe this is only the 2nd game in Legacy of the Void, and yes, I have casted about 200 games at this point. This is only the 2nd game where there's actually been a mass air unit engagement. Everything else usually just favors ground units. So absolutely amazing to see this, and I think that this game is over at this point. And there we go, GG has been called, and Harstem takes game number 1. Very well played, and let's move on to game number 2. All right. Okay, so looks like there's a few people on chat. Hello. Let's quickly rename that video. Harstem versus Nice. That is a PvP game 1. Right, I'm going to be moving on to game number 2 pretty much straight away. If you do leave any comments in the chat, whoever's in here, you're very welcome to do so. But I will be only responding to them after the game. Alright, so that is set up and ready to go. Just have a quick look at social media if there's anybody there. Nope, nobody loves me. Nobody's in social media, unfortunately. Okay, right, let's move on to game number 2. Let's see how that one goes. Alright, let's begin. Hello YouTube, welcome back to another game of Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. This is going to be another best of 5 series between our two Protoss players, Harstem and Nice. So Harstem spawning as the purple Protoss on the top left, top right hand side. Just to note, States Joe is apparently one of his alternate names. But Harstem is on Team Invasion Esport and he's from Netherlands. Now I believe that is Harstem himself actually, so just a bit of a troll account or something like that. His opponent, also a Protoss, spawning as the blue Protoss right here. And this is Nice, and he is on Team Braveheart, and he's from Taiwan. So let's see how this one plays out. Now the score for the first one is about to be displayed on the screen, so of course if you've missed the previous game, go to the description and watch the previous game first, because that is of course super important. Let's see how our builds progress here. Now it looks like a double gas being put down for Nice pretty much immediately. Now that is definitely a sign of a bit of early tech, because you generally would not see two gases coming down immediately. Now two gateways have been put down as well, which means that he's obviously expecting to probably pump out double the depths at the beginning. The question is going to be, is it going to be a depth, or is he going to just go straight for tech? But honestly, I think that it's probably going to be a depth. It would make sense. Also has a pylon here quite early inside of his mineral line, so the question is going to be whether that is going to be used for defending, or if he's just going to basically put down like a Stargate behind here. Now just a note, Harstem also gone for the double gas. So he's also thinking about potentially taken up. But we will see how he goes about that. Whether he's going to go for the tech or whether he's going to go for just the depths. Now, just to note, Nice has actually blocked himself off completely. And I've seen Protoss players do this every now and then. It's not very common, but they do it every now and then just to basically prevent any sort of a depth harassment from very easily going down. Ooh, interesting enough, Nice putting down a pylon over here. This is a bit of a risky place. I mean, even if you put it over here, that'll be a lot harder to spot. But here, you could very well have somebody walking a bit further on. And funny enough, there we go, robotics facility being put down. And a depth being on the way as well, and we do have stalkers on the way. So I'm assuming that this is going to be immortals on the way as well, so basically just bringing this forward to have it in a very close position to attack. And the stalker chasing after the probe, and I wonder why this probe is going in this direction. Now, these adepts are going to see that there's nothing going on in that base, which of course is good for him. This means that he's not too far behind. Robotics facility is about to complete. Is he going to pump out immortals? Yes, he is. Immortals on the way. I love the way that exploded. That was pretty damn cool. Now, two stalkers, an immortal, and rather an adept already here, so it's going to be just barely favoring Nice. Actually, with that third stalker, I believe that favors Harstem at that point. Now, just a note, pylon being put down here. The overcharge still costs 25 energy in this patch. This is played just before the nerf. Now, where is that immortal? There it is. He's actually making War Prism straight after that. So not continue the immortal production. I think that, to be honest, it would have probably paid off if he did. I mean, his opponent is probably going to get his own immortal very shortly. No, he's actually going for an observer. This is actually quite crucial if you think about it. I mean, this means that Nice is going to have an immortal advantage, but his opponent is not even going to have one. And look at that, 5 stalkers, 1 immortal. His opponent has 3 stalkers. Now that immortal would shred through those alone. I do believe that an immortal will take out 3 stalkers. Unless of course they're microed really, really well. I think that's cheating. The fact that you can actually load up units into a War Prism when it's deployed, I think that's a bit overpowered. Let's see what he's going to do here. Ooh, overcharge is going down. Getting that taken out as well. I think, oh my god, so many probes getting taken out here. This is beautiful play right here, right now. 12 probes have been destroyed already from Harstem. More deaths being morphed in as well. There is an actual sentry and another stalker. Now the immortal has been sniped off there. And there is a stalker or an immortal for Harstem on the other hand. So he is looking to do quite well here to hold off against this. Very well played to hold off against that. I mean, he did have a superior army on his doorstep, but holding off against it is quite an achievement. And look at that, he's pumping out more and more immortals, which is exactly what he needs to do, I think. Just keep making those units, increase your army size, and okay, let's not get too greedy with this stalker now, or with this immortal. Now, are we going to see some immortal versus immortal action? No, we're not. What is he going to do with this? Now Twilight Council is on the way for Harstem, so going to potentially see some tech coming out of that. I'm assuming it's for Blink Stalkers, because Blink Stalker micro is quite essential versus immortals. Otherwise the immortals just absolutely rip you a new one. And of course you don't want to have that. That would not end well. So let's see. There's just a few more units being warped in here. Looks like worker supply is heavily favoring Harstem at this point. To be honest, I would not be surprised if he can hold this off quite easily at this point. I mean, the army supply is very heavily favoring him. He has a big worker advantage as well now. If you look at overall supply, 86 to 56, that's 30 supply. Well, let's see, he's going to chase him. No, he's not. Looks like Blink is the choice of tech, as I thought. It made perfect sense. And let's see what's going to be going down here. Looks like just 2 more pylons, just to potentially get himself a bit of extra defense. Now, trading is Stalker for Zealot. Probably a wording trade in my eyes. Unless you got Zealot with legs, that would probably be not very worth it. Nice, managing to snipe off 2 workers and leaving undamaged, or unkilled rather. I think he did take a bit of damage, just a little bit. So doing some good trades, and every small bit of harassment like that, of course, is crucial. This Phoenix is going to be spotting pretty much everything. Now, just to note, there is just a gateway, 2 gateways rather, and a forge going down. And he's decided to back off from this. And he's continuing production out of this. Question is going to be, is that going to get spotted, or has it been spotted? No, it hasn't. So he's not actually aware of it. But he could get very close now. The fact that he's gotten so close to this wall is the only reason why that did not get spotted. If he was any bit closer to it, or further away from the wall, he would probably spot that very easily. Now, just a note for the viewers, on both on live stream and of course in the video video on demand afterwards. I've started streaming. I'm not streaming on Twitch anymore because Twitch just does not seem to agree with my connection. I don't know why. So I'm pretty much streaming on YouTube directly. You have to be a partner to do it. So luckily I'm partnered with my channel, so that way I actually have the rights to do it. And basically, the advantage of YouTube is if you're not partnered with Twitch, what you upload through the stream is exactly what you get. So if you're uploading 720p, your viewers can only view it in 720p. Whereas on YouTube, since I am partnered and of course they have the ability to do it, I can upload at 1080p, and even if you're watching on an old smartphone that only has like a 480p resolution screen, you can actually just downscale it like that, no problem, and it'll eat less bandwidth, and of course it'll display a smaller image that's easier on your phone. So that's pretty much why I've decided to use it. It's not as, I mean, the YouTube platform is not as developed as Twitch, obviously, because it's only new, it's in the beta right now, but I think that the results that I get from it are a whole lot better. And I'm hoping that at some point the YouTube gaming stream platform is going to be as supported as Twitch worldwide, and that way, you know, you'll be able to pretty much get followers and all this kind of stuff, because right now I think it's a little bit more difficult to get your subscribers to watch on YouTube. You can set up an event, which is exactly what I've been doing, but unless you can set it up, I think, like a few days in advance, you're probably not going to get a whole lot of viewers unless your channel is huge, of course. There we go, a bunch of damage going down. I think that this is actually heavily favoring Harstem's army, and that is exactly the situation. Looks like he's taken the game. And just to note, I forgot to include the score. We're currently at 2-0 in favor of Harstem. So currently, very nice outcome for him. So if he wins the next game, he will be moving on to the next round. Right, okay, that's a bit unfortunate. I forgot to put the actual scores up, which sucks. But that is okay, we'll get over it. Next map is Arena. So let's quickly rename our video. And pause this. Okay. Right, is anybody in the chat? Welcome. I will be doing, I believe, 3 to 4 more games, and then I will be going offline. I am fairly tired today, so unfortunately not able to cast for a long time. But I will be back another day. And of course, if you want to watch, you're very welcome to. You'll be able to basically subscribe and be notified whenever I'm streaming. Right, let's begin with this game. Game number 3 rather. Hello YouTube, welcome back to another game of Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. This is going to be game number 3 between Nice and Harstem. So Harstem is actually Stasio. I think it's like a troll account or something, if you can look at the image here. But that is indeed him. He is playing as the Protoss here on the bottom left hand side. And just to note, Harstem is on Team Invasion Esport and he is also from the Netherlands. Now his opponent is going to be Nice. Nice is somebody who I haven't seen play a whole lot. I believe I've seen him play at Heart of the Swarm, I think last year, I'm not mistaken. His name is very familiar, but I'm not entirely familiar with the player. He's on Team Braveheart and he is from Taiwan. So let's see how this game plays out. Now if you have missed the previous games, the links are going to be in the description if you're watching as the video on YouTube afterwards, not the stream. And the scores will be displayed very, very shortly, so obviously you don't want to get spoiled. Okay, so it looks like identical build so far. Both players going for 2 gases. That's definitely something important. And it looks like 2 gateways being thrown down as well. Now I wonder why he's put them so close up against the north here, possibly to... You know what, I wouldn't even know. Maybe to block some sort of harassment from walking around these ways. If of course there's going to be some sort of drop with the depths, he doesn't want them to be running freely on the back of his mineral line. Okay, at this point scores is coming up, so 2-0 in favour of Harstem. And it's pretty much up to this game. If Nice manages to take this game, at that point it's going to move on to game number 4 and then potentially game number 5 after that. If Harstem wins it, then he's going to take the series and move on to the round of 16, which I will be of course casting in the near future once I get through all of the 32 games. A round of 32 games, that is. There's going to be a lot more than 32 games. Let's see, so funny enough, building a bunch of pylons. And just to note, these are Nice pylons. So he's putting some sort of shenanigans. I assume he's going to bring his mothership core over here and do something with that. Overcharging his own pylons here. So possibly trying to kill them off. Now, interestingly enough, he's pulled off a lot of workers to do this. So while Nice has actually spent a lot of resources putting these pylons up, Harstem has pulled off so many of his workers to take care of this. I mean, that's a total of what? 5? And he's actually ended up losing a few of them as well, so that's actually, to be honest, an even a worthy trade for Nice, taking out a few probes here. So look at these numbers, 24 to 15 at this point. And I believe that Harstem just answered one of my questions. Can you control a pylon when it's overcharged? Yes you can, because he switched target from this one to this one, so that definitely means you can. Now this mothership core definitely wants to move away at this point. And just to quickly let you know, I said in the previous game, but I'm starting to stream pretty much every time I'm recording, so that way if anybody wants to interact with me while I'm recording, you're pretty much able to do it live as well. So whatever you're going to see in the stream is eventually going to make it onto my channel as well as a video on demand. It's going to be edited and all this kind of stuff, so you know, you'll have the outro and you'll have the question. Well, some of them will have a question. This one I didn't actually introduce one in this series. Okay, interesting enough, Nice has gone for an expansion already, so he's taken his advantage and he's basically bringing it up forward. And meantime, he's actually gone for an Oracle. Now, just to note, Harstem did put down a Stargate as well. Both players going for Oracles right now. Mothership Core, oh, did he make it? Yes, he did indeed. Just about 5 health remaining on that Mothership Core. And And is he going for his own expansion? He is thinking about it. He does have the probe here. There we go. Expansion goes down. This probe spots it pretty much immediately. He couldn't have picked any better time to actually move up that ramp and scout out. And there we go. Looks like Harstem actually GG'd out of that, and I think that was probably a little bit premature, to be honest. I mean, he's... Yeah, I have to say that is premature. You know what? I want to quickly return to the game. What exactly happened? Ah, I see. So... Okay. Yeah, so he hasn't started killing anything yet, but as you can see here, both players have their oracles out, so this could have possibly went in the other direction as well. So that's a bit unfortunate, but unfortunately that's how the game ends. So a 2-1 in favor of Harstem. Right, okay. Let's bring up the in-between videos. And see what we got. Okay, so let's move on to game number 4, which is actually on Prion Terraces. Let's load that up. So game number 4 between Harstem and Nice. This is going to be a Protoss versus Protoss yet again. Let's restart this. And it is a best of 5. And let's begin. Hello YouTube, welcome back to another game of Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. This is going to be the 4th game between Nice and Harstem. Now Harstem is our Protoss player at the bottom left hand side here. As you can see, his nice little troll icon right there, spawning as the purple Zerg. Now Harstem is on Team Invasion Esport and also representing Netherlands. His opponent is going to be Nice. Nice is... Nice? Huh. No, that I honestly don't know him. So, Braveheart is his team, and he is from Taiwan. Now the scores are about to be displayed for who won which matches. Since this is game 4, that means there's been 3 victories already for some players, and the scores are about to be displayed. So obviously, if you haven't seen them, click on the links in the description. They will take you to the previous games, where of course you're very welcome to watch them. And let's see how both of our players are beginning here. So it looks like Nice throwing down 2 gases pretty much straight away before his gateway even finishes. And then going out to scout. So that is pretty much that. Let's bring up our scores at this point. So Harstem is currently on 2, Nice is currently on 1. So basically the way it goes is if Harstem takes this game, he will move on to the round of 16. If Nice takes this game, then we're going to be moving on to game number 5 to give both players the same opportunity to move on to the round of 16. So let's see, timings are almost identical. The only thing that's different right now is the fact that there's a Nexus already down for Harstem, so that's going to be a bit of an advantage for him in terms of economy. See, pylon being put down. This is actually a proxy pylon, so fun enough, I just saw Harstem clicking a unit to move here. So interestingly enough, is he gonna send something here? Yeah, he's actually checking for proxies. That's exactly what he's doing. So Harstem gonna spot this out. Oh, is he gonna waste minerals on this? He is. Yes, he is. No, he didn't actually put anything down, so he's probably deciding to not go for this. And this pylon gonna get taken out a little bit later once there are some attacking units on the field. And what is going on inside of the bases? Looks like just Stalkers being produced right now. Nexus is on the way. Sorry, that's the Nexus completing here. My mistake. And there we go. We've got a Stargate on the way. Now the Stargate is made inside his base, he would have probably made it here, but obviously got spotted out pretty much straight away, so that was not a viable option. And let's see what he's going to do here. The stalker's moving straight on out. Now there's just one stalker in position here right now. The second one is on the way though, so could very, very well catch each other out. Oh my god, no, don't attack when you have just have one. That will not end well. So your opponent will have a bit more damage. Okay, he's just switched the okay, he's actually just put it down there for the gateway upgrade. Now, gateway being put down here as well, that's a bit peculiar. The reason he's probably doing this is because you warp in units faster next to your gateway, so he just wants to warp in units faster. What is this? The pylon, and we've got a robotics facility. So robotics facility being put down for Harstem. This, of course, will give him a nice, big, juicy advantage when fighting against stalkers, because if he gets out immortals, if I remember right, they still take quite a few hits to kill off a stalker, but I think it's only about 4 or something like that. It's only 4 hits or something like that to actually take it out. So definitely a worthy investment. And here we go. We do have one adept on the field. There's no defenses against us right now. Just a few stalkers. The overcharge is going to go down. You probably want to move away right now. Oracle, 5 kills on it. And that is the end of that. Overcharge taking care of that. Definitely don't want to be attacking a Nexus. Now Zealots start to do a bit of damage when you let Zealots get close to your army. At that point, they do start to pay for themselves very, very quickly. But looks like he's managed to hold us off. He did lose a few probes to that. So 7 probes have been lost. 6 of those, I believe, were Oracle probes. Now, he just killed off 1. As I was saying before, it takes a total of 6 probes to make the exchange equal in value. Stalker's on the way here now. Looks like that is a sentry, so gonna potentially block off something, or maybe even use it for a Guardian Shield. I think that because he's only got 1, it's probably better to just use it as a Guardian Shield sentry. But I think he needs another 25 energy for that. What's going on inside his base? Nothing interesting actually, just pretty basic. Does have 2 zealots here, which he could potentially use to actually attack. Doesn't really have that much use for them here. Let's see what it's going to do here. The army supply is just barely favoring nice. I mean, with that amount of difference, I wouldn't even consider it a favor, just simply because, you know, different compositions will be better against different compositions. So he's got no immortals here, whereas his opponent has an immortal. That immortal probably balances out any sort of extra units that Nice has. So second immortal is also on the way. Now what exactly is that little image? Unfortunately gone at the moment, so I can't even see that. It looks like immortals of his own coming for Nice, so obviously he is kind of catching on to the fact that, okay, if I just attack with stalkers against 2 immortals or even 1 immortal, I'm probably going to get slaughtered. Now, is he going to get any kills here? Gets 1, second one also, and looks like that might be it here. So 7 kills in total. That means that this Oracle has paid for itself now. His buddy, I believe, was about 6 kills as well. So probably both of them paying for themselves at this point. But on the other hand, if you take a look at it, the worker supply is still favoring Harstem. So despite the fact that he's killed off more probes, he's still behind. So he's just not droning as hard, pretty much. Another Oracle being made here, so obviously he's quite fond of his Oracles. He definitely wants to continue on harassing, But at this point, I wonder, is it worth it, or should he just be making disruptors and essentially just bombing through this army? Because that, I think, is the best option. Oh, nice force fields, managing to split off this army with just a few units blocked off. And this poor Stalker getting destroyed here as well. And that engagement actually very heavily favoured Harstem. He's got 3 mortals on the field at the moment and would probably want to destroy this gateway very shortly as well. Oh, nice. Just about managing to snipe that off. And another one being put over here. Now there is 2 stalkers in place. Is he going to be able to snipe this off? Honestly, I don't think so. But has it killed anything? No, it hasn't. So at this point, obviously more and more oracles is not going to be very beneficial because he's just not able to defend or not able to keep them alive long enough to actually do damage. Now both players have been stuck on 2 bases for quite some time now. Now that the aggression is moving back a little bit, looks like Harstem deciding to go for his 3rd base, and I think he's in much better position to do that also. I mean, he's got a nice oversaturation here, so those probes do need to go somewhere. Let's see what he's going to do with these. Looks like level 1 is about to be completed for Nice as well. Now just a note, doesn't look like Harstem has it completed for himself. Looks like Disruptor's finally being made for Harstem as well. So he does have a slightly bigger army, which actually just got balanced out. No longer is the case, and again is the case. Okay, I'm just going to shut up about the army size because obviously that just consistently changes when the numbers are so close. But I think that Disruptors are going to be one of the hindering factors here for Nice. He doesn't have Disruptors on the field, whereas his opponent does. A Disruptor can actually can kill off about 4 to 5 Stalkers if you get a very nice purification over. Now obviously Blink Stalkers are quite good at dodging those, but if you do manage, ooh, look at that. So I wonder, this is actually quite clever. Oh, what? Look at that, that was huge. He's actually managed to snipe off like 4 sentries with that. Now that was a massive purification over. That was absolutely beautiful. And this is exactly what he needed right now. He does have 2 Disruptors right now, so he's got such a commanding army right now. He has more immortal, actually he has, hold on, he has the same amount of immortals. There we go, more units getting caught out, one of those immortals getting taken out as well. And the purification overs are pretty much what's winning it for him right now. Now there was some talk, I believe it was it Hawk or was it Puck? I'm not sure what. No, Showtime. It was talking about some sort of rumors that Blizzard is thinking about nerfing the shield damage on Disruptors. And funny enough, being a Protoss player, he agreed with the change, and you know, I agree with it absolutely 100%. I think that Disruptors one-shotting Stalkers and Roaches is overpowered as hell, and I think that they shouldn't. And there we go, another purification over, not dodging that one at all. And I think at this point, this is going to be pretty much over. I mean, there's 3 mortals still here, there's 3 Disruptors, and I think that Harstem will just be able to move straight in here and just take his units, his opponent out, pretty much in a steamroll fashion. Oh, one gets sniped off here. It's a nice blink, losing 1 Stalker for the cost of 1 Disruptor. Definitely a worthy exchange. 4th base coming down here for Harstem. Now that's a gold base as well, just a note, which is going to give him a big advantage. Well, he already has a big advantage. He's got almost twice of his opponent. And again, managing to snipe off yet another Disruptor. So he's doing quite good to hold off so far, and of course sniping off Disruptors is a massive thing. Purification now goes out, not going to get hit by that one. 4 Disruptors in total are on the field here. Looks like robotics support facility is coming down for nice, but is it a bit too late? He's getting all of his units destroyed right now. Blink Stalker is being very, very aggressive here. Army supply is 84 to 37 in favor of Harstem, so he's doing so well right now. Blink Micro being used by both players quite nicely actually. This Immortal could very well get out of position here, so definitely wants to be a little bit careful. And blinking in just to snipe that off, doesn't care about losing those 3 Stalkers, and GG has been called. This brings the series up to 3-1 in favor of Harstem, and that wins him the series, meaning he is going to be going on to the game round of 16 in the Dreamhack 2016 from Leipzig. Right, and that is pretty much it, guys. I am going to be finishing the stream here. I am extremely tired, so I don't think I will continue on. Maybe another day. Thank you for joining me, whoever's in here. I see that there's only 3 people here, but thank you. And I will see you guys next time. Good luck, take care, bye bye.